It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so dope. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Talk Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so dope. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Talk Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so dope. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Talk Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea's.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Thank you once again for finding the time to be with me for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. Once again, welcome to the Blue Morning Show. We do have quite a lot lined up to talk about today. We'll talk about Mudryk, we'll talk about Gittens, we'll talk about Kudus, we'll talk about Pedro, João Pedro, to be more specific. Petrovic, not Madueke, and not too much. But here's the thing, as always, because we keep it interactive here, the truth remains we will talk quite a lot about what we have to talk about. And as the show progresses, if anything new emerges, be rest assured, this will be one of the first places you'll hear about it. So thank you once again for finding the time to join us. Without wasting much of your time, I will read what we have in the chat and get into it. We have just 3 likes. I think we should be doing a lot better than just 3 likes. Yeah, we don't have too many people watching at this moment, but at least 10 people. We should have at least 5 likes. 14 people. It's going up. All right, without wasting much of your time, as promised. Yep. The question there, I think some of you, I wanted people to answer it before the show starts. And big up to you too, Tebe. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And thank you for finding the time to participate in the show. And we have, Nicola says, I feel sorry for Misha, and I hope his lawyers will help him to reduce the ban. I think Pogba's case did set a precedent. If he had, and since he's using the same law firm, I think probably he'll get away. He'll get a shorter ban, not a lengthy one. Maybe, probably, chances that he'd get even a lot shorter ban than that of Pogba. But we get into that. More likes, people, more likes. The likes will go a long way. Yes, we're still back for likes because, yeah, we're not a big account yet, but we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer to 26K subscribers. So help us get there. If you're not subscribed, please kindly take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe. Pavel Montez says, Caicedo, looks like you're his countryman. What do you think about Moy? One of my favorite players at Chelsea. I like him. More importantly, I like him because, yeah, he likes Chelsea. His idol is one of my favorite Chelsea players in N'Golo Kante. So, yeah, I do love him. So, yeah, so no question. And he can only get better. So I'm happy he's playing for my club. That's, by the way, without wasting much of your time, we'll start talking about the items we have lined up. Hey, to you too, Danny Music. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join the show. Thank you for always interacting with the content. And I'll be releasing another good content about Misha. 3 reasons why he might actually get not get a lengthy ban. Yeah, might not face a lengthy ban. Yeah, with some research behind it, I think I'm confident that would be the case. But I'm not going to say too much about the video. I will release it soon. It's a YouTube shot, so it's not going to take much of your time. And I believe, look forward to it, Danny. Nice to see you. Moy is a fantastic player, definitely, and we love him. We do love him here. So without wasting much of your time, we will start addressing the items we have lined up. And this is the full list of the PFA award. Those you can say nominated. Liam Delap, one of them, Ipswich Town. So we actually didn't sign. We didn't sign. You could say a basic player. We signed a talent. The fact that he's listed there shows. And then Dean Hudson, who's gone to Madrid. Milos Kak, how'd you pronounce it? Of Bournemouth, two Bournemouth players. Kakis, how'd you pronounce his last name? Two Arsenal players, Miles Lewis Kelly and Ethan Waneri. Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa, and we're also linked with the move for Morgan Rogers, a player I love so much. But it doesn't look like Aston Villa they're looking to sell, except if the PSR stuff forces them to start looking for a buyer, then definitely I think we'll snatch them up because we're waiting. We're not too sure whether they're looking to sell him or not. But that's by the way. You think Chelsea should keep Jackson? I think we should keep him, and I think Chelsea will keep him. I don't think Chelsea are looking to sell Nicholas Jackson. I know there are. I know there are rumors out there suggesting that Aston Villa that they're looking to test the waters to see if we're interested in selling Nicholas Jackson. But I don't think Chelsea are looking to sell him. Remember, he's been actually, you could say, fantastic. The only thing Jackson needs to start doing consistently is be efficient in front of goal consistently. That's just that. Every other thing he does very well. He can create chances for his teammates. He can track back effectively. Helps, does a lot of defensive work also. But that's by the way. And once we start addressing the items lined up, please try as much as you can to keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I will assume that you're having a good conversation with a community member, which you're allowed to do. Until we don't, we're trying to, you could say, follow a habit here. Start staying on topic until it's time for Q&A. Then you can ask whatever question you have, okay? Now, Jackson needs it to go. He isn't good enough. I think be careful what you wish for. I know you don't like him, but I think you should take your time. Go compare his first season to DJ Drogba's first season also. I'm not saying he's Drogba, but I'm just saying I think if anything, move him to the flanks. But I think he will still be playing as a striker for us. But that's by the way. Let's see. We need to sign Osimhen or Gyökeres, but sadly, none. We're not going to sign any of them since after signing the lab. I think the door is shut for that type of number 9. You can say the more of more of the stereotypical number 9. We're not looking to sign any of that sort of number 9. If anything, we're looking to sign a number 9. Like you said, not like just towards a hybrid number 9, more of Nicholas Jackson type of number 9. That's what we're looking to sign. Yes, I agree with you. Danny Osimhen is a good option, but we're not going to sign him. If I'm not saying that possibility is the possibility isn't there. It's still there because no club has signed him yet. So chances are he'd still come to Chelsea. But if you ask me, I'd say yeah, it'd be 99% to 1 leaning towards him not coming. Keep Nico for another season. I think probably he might actually stay beyond next season because he's going to improve. And the more he improves, the more the club will be reluctant to sell him, except if he pushes to leave. True Jackson would be amazing left wing instead of striker. Yep, we did see that under Pochettino. He was actually, I was happy to see him playing that position on that Poch. He tracked back effectively. And that was when I think that happened. Poch did that when Cucurella started, when he started inverting Cucurella, and Jackson was good at tracking back when Cucurella was up front attacking, and he did that effectively. Go watch that game, but let's see what happens. Okay, well, he's not bad. He's just misses. Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing. That's the only thing he needs to start doing consistently is be efficient in front of goal. And here's the thing: I've taken my time actually to look at them. if he can start shooting instinctively, just once you see space, shoot. Don't hesitate. That hesitation, you could say that little bit of hesitation we see from Nicholas Jackson, you could argue is the difference. Is the difference between him? Is the difference between him having twice as many goals as he has right now for Chelsea? And you can then that's the difference between him and Liam Delap. Delap, one of the differences, yeah. Delap shoots instinctively more often than not than Nicholas Jackson. And that can make a whole lot of difference for a striker, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see option on Constantinos. I don't know that name. I don't pretend I know every player. I don't know every player. I know a few, but I don't know all of them. What about goalkeeper? Who's starting goal for the new season? I think it still will be what's his name, Robert Sanchez. He finished the season well, and I mean our game against LASG, there are no signs that because the trajectory would change it from positive to negative. So I'm happy. Brazil, welcome, 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 and my our Brazilian brother. Listen, what's your name? Cruzeiro Galaxy. Here's the thing: we have an AI, you could say an AI driven agent that is policing the conversation in the chat, not a human being, so you don't start a fight with him. If you use more than three emojis at the same time, it will delete it and probably and most definitely actually time you out. So please stick to three emojis, don't go beyond three emojis. Big up to you too, Markim Neum. Nice to see you out. I hope you're doing well. Sanchez needs to go. I just don't rate him, but I don't think he goes. Except if we sign Maignan and it becomes clear to him that he's not going to be the number one, then he pushes to leave. Chelsea should look for a better goalkeeper. Sanchez, actually, the only issue with him is lapses in concentration. And I actually, at one point, thought Petrovic was better, but I'm not going to stick with that argument right now. I get it. He finished the season better. And I told people, chances are, if they switch places, Sanchez will get tested more and then prove that, yeah, he's actually a better shot stopper. So Petrovic, he refused to compete. And if I were Petrovic, I'd do the same. After finishing the season as the best player for the club where I went on loan, why not? I look to be the starting goalkeeper. Estevao plays it today. You're gonna watch. Yeah, I'll try to watch him. Yeah, I'll try. Hopefully, I'll have the time. But I have a lot going on. I might actually miss that game. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And because we're streaming in a vertical format, here's what you do. Press and hold your screen for just about a second to see the bells and whistles, including the like, comment, and everything you want to see there to help us garner more likes. We really appreciate that. Opinion on Brighton's new signing. I don't know him. I'm not going to pretend I do. Honestly, I don't know him. Honestly, let's see. Anything else here? All right. So Liam Delap, good signing. This proves that that's the case. So Chelsea striker Liam Delap has been shortlisted for the PFA Young Player of the Year award. Well deserved. He did well at an Ipswich with an Ipswich Town team that were as poor as they were. That was as poor as they were. He was able to. He outperformed his XG. He had an XG of 9+ and scored 12 goals. And that's not easy. He did really, really well. And I'm glad we signed him. He was never my first choice. But yeah, as I did say yesterday, I took a step back, took my time to do a research and realized actually he's actually the better option. But I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to start an argument with anybody. But that's why we keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And Cruzeiro Galaxy, just don't use more than 3 emojis and you're all right. Tebejo, thank you for joining me on the panel. Anything you want to add to Liam Delap being nominated for PFA Young Player of the Year award? I think that's testament to the fact that we signed a very good player and testament to how well he did for Ipswich City, even though, yeah, they got relegated.
Yeah, big up,
Yeah,
coach. How are you?
uh-huh. Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Liam Delap overall is a good signing, and we also talked about him on the channel that actually we didn't want him to join now, but since he's here, we're going to support the boy. And also, after I'm being nominated, it shows that this boy already have some qualities, and then it's been noticed by the FA. So hopefully, he can build on that and be a better player for us.
Yeah, I believe he'd do well. As I've told people, the stage is set for him at Chelsea for multitude of reasons. The fact that he's played under Enzo Maresca at City, and alongside Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia, he's home. He's and he's proven that he can actually do it in the Premier League, and with a much inferior team to Chelsea. Because at Chelsea, yeah, we have players that will create tons of chances for him, and it's proven that yeah, he's an efficient goal scorer. So I'm happy. As I said before, he was never my first choice, but I've done my research. I think yeah, we made the right decision. All right, the next item here, just more of a comment, a quote, some report quoting Estevao Willian. This reads, Estevao Willian on pressure. He says, pressure is part of football. Every player has to deal with it. Yep, you cannot escape it. And when I am on the pitch, I try to just think about having fun and helping my team in the best way I can by scoring goals and setting them up. I like to say that the football pitch is my amusement park because it is where I feel happiest. I think he's still a kid. He still enjoys football. Not just money is not the focus at this point. But happy to hear this kid. I think he will surprise a lot of people. Some of my friends actually don't believe he'd hit the ground running. I think he will. It's not going to be perfect, and a lot of people probably, even if he starts well, will still question you could say his abilities because yeah, they're watching him with so much expectation given the hype surrounding his emergence. So, but I'm not concerned. I've heard people say he needs to go out and learn. I don't think so. If you tried that with him, I think he'll push to leave, and there will not be shortage of clubs interested in signing him. But I'm not concerned about that. I think the club knows the sort of talent we have in our hands, and they're not going to risk him wanting to leave, in my opinion. But let's say Tobeho, what do you make of this kid? I think he will succeed. He will hit the ground running. It might not be perfect at first, but I don't think he will be poor to the extent you could say that people start saying, yeah, he's bad. No, he's too good actually to fail. If anything, it'd be correct to say, yeah, he will struggle at first because that's natural. That's something that happens with every player when you move to another club. But Tabeho, let's say if you have anything to say about that.
Yeah, first of all, this kid is quality, right? And also, if you check the stats, which Brazilian player did fail at Chelsea? No, no one at the moment. So hopefully he will build on traditional Brazilian players that played for Chelsea. Hopefully can do well. But like you said, this kid is special, and then he still need to learn a lot of things. But he's still young, 18 years old. Maybe after 2, 3 years, he'll be one of the best players. Likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona will be checking for him. But hopefully, he stays at Chelsea Football Club for a longer time. But like you said, this kid is so good to feed at Chelsea.
Yeah, and this particular comment here by from Wally Waldo reads, Real Madrid wanted him. I think Bayern too wanted Estevao. That should tell you he's the real that he is. I think we were able to convince him probably because we have a lot of young players already, and that was my argument at the time. I don't know whether if in fact that was what um you, they told Estevao and the other young players that they signed. But here's the thing. I think the fact that we have a lot of young players, you could argue, makes it easier to convince up and coming players. Say, look, we have young players, and it's our thing. You know, we like you, and if you come to Chelsea, you get to play because we're nurturing a lot of young players, and you fit in perfectly, and we'll give you time to develop. But that's by the way, Estevao, I'm just happy he's a Chelsea player. I'm not paying too much attention to what people say. And just as I said the other day, people watched him with so much expectation, and as humans, once you do that, you'll be disappointed. So they were expecting him to perform at the same level as Messi, what's his name, Neymar, and Ronaldo. But when that didn't happen, they were disappointed and start saying some rubbish that I was seeing on social media on that day. I was shocked, really, but that's okay. I'll let the kid do the talking on the pitch for me. I'm not gonna argue with anybody. I think I've left it at that, and I'm not gonna change my opinion. I don't have the energy to argue with people. Let's see. Yeah, we need a new CB. Cowell is not all that. I think he's maturing. He finished the season actually one of our best, as one of our best CBs. Him, Tosin. I wouldn't say in that order because I haven't taken my time to compare them and see who actually did better. But Cowell is improving, and the signs are good. The signs are good. Honestly, I wouldn't give up on him. So let's see what else we have. Hey, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Galatasaray target Dodi Petrovic told Chelsea, if you give me a first choice goalkeeper guarantee, I will come to the FIFA Club World Cup. However, Enzo Maresca refused. Petrovic was dismissed from the squad and was placed at the top of the sales list. At first, the news emerged that he actually did ask to be made the starting goalkeeper, people thought the club was just briefing the fans, to get them on their side, given that the fans won't be happy because they like a Petrovic. And I actually did believe at the time that, yeah, he definitely did ask to become the number one goalkeeper. And when the club said no, uh, then they put him on the sales list. Um, I don't have an issue with that, and I still can't, just because of the fact that he won Strasbourg's Player of the Season, that he's better than Sanchez. Even though I know we can do better than all the goalkeepers we have at the moment, but yeah, and I'd still say something I've said 1,000 times. If they switch places and Sanchez, you can say, if Sanchez was the one at Strasbourg and Petrovic, was at Chelsea, Sanchez will finish the season as the much, you can say numbers will say Sanchez finished the season as the much better shot stopper because he got tested a lot. But that's my opinion. Let's hear what Pedro has to say about that.
No, this is simple, coach. At the moment, Petrovic, HS Football Club, is not number one, so we should we should sell him and then move on.
Yeah, that's what one. Listen, when we didn't force him out, and if you remember a few months ago, the club did made it clear. The club made it clear, did make it clear that, yeah, look, all the goalkeepers will get a chance to prove themselves. So it just doesn't make sense that he comes back and just demands to become the number one. No, if you're that confident, if you're confident to that measure, then I don't think you have a problem staying and competing. And then you just get a chance to prove that you should be the number one, and boom, you become the number one. But he just didn't want to compete. And I think that angered the manager. And probably he told the management, and they were like, okay, yeah, you just have to go. And I would do the same. And if I were in his shoes, like I said, I'd also, you could say, if I can see, if I suspect that the manager prefers the other goalkeeper, then I'd actually leave. Maybe that's the case. I just don't know. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. 13 likes. We can do a lot better than that. We don't have too many people watching. 16 people at the moment. We had 28. How can Maresca say no to Petrovic? That's so rude when Petrovic had a fantastic season. You don't do that, irrespective of how good that person is. You don't just, if they come, even if, let's say, chances are the manager had in mind to make him the number one. But if you go to the manager and tell him, hey, I want to be the number one, he'd change his mind immediately, because for me, you could argue, I'd see that as arrogance. Actually, Chelsea is a big club. No player is guaranteed a place. Maybe Cole Palmer. There are some exceptions, I have to agree, but that's not something that's common. In most cases, Majority of the times, you have to prove that that you're supposed to be starting over the other player or over the player you're competing with. So Petrovic is the one you should be. You could say saying I'd prefer to hear you say that Petrovic he has no right to demand the starting place. You don't demand a starting place. You work for it, or you earn the starting place. If it just doesn't make sense, really. Yeah, even if you agree he should be number one, it's just an opinion. It's just your opinion. The manager has a job to do, and if the manager, if he goes by, you can say what the fans wants done. Chances are would be he'd be starting an entirely different 11 every time we play. So I'm happy that he said no. If in fact that was exactly how the whole thing transpired, I wasn't there, but going by what we've heard, uh, yeah, F him. Really, you have no right to ask for a starting place. If you need it, come work for it. Yeah, but that's my opinion anyway. Tabeo, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or should we move on to the next item we have lined up? More likes, people, more likes. 13 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that because we're streaming in the vertical format. It's easy. Just press and hold your screen for just about a second. Then you see the bells and whistles to like, comment, share, and whatever you want to do. I don't know, Tabeo, anything else you want to add, or should we move on?
Yeah, we should move on, bro.
All right, thank you. More likes, more likes, more likes, more likes. All right, we'll move on from this one to the next item. João Pedro. Okay. Chelsea seriously considering João Pedro, who is on their list, but I don't think we've done anything. What date is this? Or is this an older again? An old report? This was 19th. Okay, so this is current. I'm hearing that Newcastle are also interested. Some outlets suggest that we're leading the race. I'm not sure what to believe, but if we're going by this year, it just says that we're seriously considering João Pedro. It we're having, you could say, established contact with his camp or the club, but some outlets are suggesting that that's the case. But Tabiha, what do you know? Let's hear you.
About João Pedro.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the player, but for now, we rather sell both Nkunku and Felix, then we can sign him. So, also, I wouldn't mind Rogers. The issue with Rogers, Aston Villa will ask for 80 million for him, and this guy is 60 million. So, in terms of finance, I will take Pedro, but in terms of a player, I will take Rogers. So, let's see what will happen, coach. But I know people have different opinions about him, right? So for me personally, I want him at Chelsea, but some fans don't want him. I don't
What
know why.
position do you think we're looking at him for? The Jackson, the hybrid number 9 position, I think.
I think he can play as a winger, number nine, supporting striker, those kind of positions.
Hmm. I do like him. He's a very versatile player. I think I've seen him play in a 10 role, play the 10 role for Brighton before. I do like him, but I'm not sure what position we're looking to sign him for. But here's the thing. I think for the forward areas, I think um, we're looking for players that are capable of playing centrally and also on either flanks. And I think he's that. I think he's able to fulfill the central role as a 10 or 8 or even on either flanks. I think he's that versatile, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're doing. We're linked with 1,000 players, and I'm not sure which ones we'll end up getting. But I'd say Gittens definitely. I think that one you could argue. You could say on the verge of completion, really. That's how close we are to getting the Gittins deal over the line, in my opinion. I'm not saying I don't work for the club. Never been at the table where they're discussing the terms of the deal. But from what we're hearing, I mean, it'd be safe to say, yeah, that deal is closer to completion, on the verge of completion, maybe. But that's by the way, João Pedro. Let me see if a lot of Chelsea fans want him. We should get him not above the 50 million mark, though. Good luck getting him for anything lower than that. So what happens to Gittens? Gittens still comes. Gittens, I think Gittens is a top priority. Every other, all other players that were linked, we've been linked with. You can argue probably we don't. I don't think we need just one winger. I think we need about two wingers. Gittens certainly one of them. The question now is who's the second winger. What do you think, Tabel?
I think we might sign one winger because remember next season we're going to have buyers. We also have going to have Gwenda, so you have to be careful not to overload certain
Ah,
positions.
mm.
So we rather sign one, then hopefully we don't have major injury issues.
Yeah,
Also,
and
we
you
wait for
make a
next
good
season.
argument. And Quenda, I think,
Yes.
we probably must. Yeah, it does make sense to plan for his arrival. Otherwise, we'll be overloaded in that position. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's my take because I don't want us to overload again. Look at now, we have Kopa, Mankunku, and Felix, right? And Felix chose to move to AC Milan. Now Chelsea are giving him giving giving him the same uh, what you call taste of his medicine for him to push to AC Milan. If he didn't want to push to AC Milan, he could have been in a Club World Cup. But since he pushed to move, now it's getting sold. So you should be careful.
Yeah, we moved on. And it's he's yeah, you can say he's the architect of his own problem. Let's see what we have here. What happened to Ronaldo? What had Ronaldo got to do with Chelsea? Rumors, I think 2 months ago or so, did suggest that we're actually looking to get him on a few months loan to play for us at the Club World Cup. But I think just forget about that. It's not going to happen because he did come out and say, yeah, he's not looking to join any club to play in the Club World Cup. Uh, I can't quite remember what was said exactly, but I don't think it's happening. Then Danny here is saying, but Sanchez isn't world class for Chelsea, though. Coach, we paid 25 million for the dude, but yet we won't pay 20 million for Mike Mayer for reasons we've talked about here. He has just about a year left on his current contract. We're the only ones interested at the time, at least, and he wanted to join us and us alone. So it wouldn't have made any sort of sense to pay what they're asking us. And plus, you could argue they were trying to get us to pay a lot of money because maybe their thinking at the time was that we're desperate to take him to the Club World Cup. So that was why we showed them no, that we're not desperate. And if you remember, months ago we were told they were not looking to sign a goalkeeper. That if we see a good opportunity that would do that, would sign one, which it makes sense to interpret that as saying as being that yeah, we're not going to spend a lot of money on a goalkeeper. So I'm happy and I'm proud of my club. I'm proud that we didn't overpay really. Forget the meltdown, and like I said, we're in the men transfer window right now, so this still has a long way to go. So chances are we'd still sign another goalkeeper. If in fact, if we're to believe the rumors that Sanchez wants to leave because he's not sure if he's still going to be the number one once the Premier League season starts, but I'm not sure what to believe really. There are a lot of stuff out there. Our owners, wow, I'm not reading that one because I disagree with that. All right, that's why they should have taken him to the Club World Cup and given him some chances to prove himself. No, I wouldn't do that, Waldo. I would not, honestly. And I remember from his perspective, I've said if I were Petrovic, um, I'd push to leave if I'm not sure I'm going to be the starting goalkeeper after finishing the season as the best player at the club where I went on loan. But from the club's perspective, also, you don't bend over for a player. No. You earn your place. It's really that simple. Honestly, I'm no, I that's no, you don't do that. You're probably giving them power, but yeah. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Another Brighton player. Here's something people don't pay attention. I did say this when we were linked with that kid, and I looks like after this switch, they changed managers. I haven't heard a lot about him of late. Actually, was it Ferguson when they were quoting 100 million? I knew at the time that what we were hearing, all the stuff out there at the time were all rumors, nothing serious. But I did tell people, listen, you've done just because of the way the manager of a particular store treated you, and not go back to that store if they have what you want that you cannot find in another place. If a store has a good product, you'd always go back there, irrespective of how you're treated, except if you're not in need of what you're looking for. If you don't necessarily need what you're looking for, that you cannot find elsewhere. If that makes sense. So I knew if they have the sort of profile of player we're looking for, we'd still go back there. Yeah, and yeah, João Pedro. So I'm not sure what else to say, but you get the gist. Let's say what else we have here. What's with us signing up Brighton players? I don't know, because they have good players. Look at all the players we signed from there. They've all done well. I get it. Sanchez with a huge question mark because lapses in concentration during games is an issue, but we've actually done well. The signings we've made from Brighton, they've actually done well for us. Just on sign Ekitike, it may well happen. I like him actually. I do like him. He's that sort of player. If we miss out, 2 or 3 years from now, we'd look back and say we actually wanted to sign him. But I think 100 million is a lot of money. I think Brighton will ask for a lot more for João Pedro. No, I don't think so. I think he have a release clause? No, he doesn't. And his asked to leave. I don't. They're not. It's not going to happen. The only thing that would drive up the transfer fee will be the fact that there are other clubs interested. Because deep down, João Pedro and Rogers and better option than Felix in the 10 role. But attitude is everything. I love Felix. I love him. I like him as a player. There's a lot in there, but I think there's a pattern to his behavior. A pattern has emerged, no question, from Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, on 2 occasions actually. In Chelsea's case, AC Milan, and Italian journalists, they don't mince words when they criticize players, and to the extent I'm not gonna. I don't want to say it again. I'm tired of saying it. I felt bad for him actually the way they treated him there. So, but before we signed him, I knew he was just an opportunistic signing at the time. We signed him, bearing in mind that okay, if it doesn't work out, we'd look to sell him and probably sell him nearly twice as much as the amount for nearly twice as, or even 3 times the amount we paid for him because we got him for cheap. But yeah, and he wasn't patient really. Liao, if you're thinking Kunku is lazy, wait until you meet Rafael Liao. Yeah. João Pedro is a good a Sancho replacement. He's a good player, very versatile. Can play central as a 10, and I think he can play on either flanks too. I like him actually. No question. I'd rather him than Garnacho, and we're still being linked with a move for Garnacho, and I don't want that to happen. I'm not saying
Yeah,
he's a bad player, but you can argue if you followed the way he behaved when I think was it on the you can say he's had issues with the managers he's played under and always on social media doing some nonsense. But go ahead, Taveho, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, Manchester United are in the mud for Garnacho situation because I don't think any club will pay that amount of money unless maybe Saudi Arabian clubs. So my prediction will go to Napoli or either team for loan or less fee because no way is going to pay 60 million for Garnacho. No way.
No, that's a lot of money. I think we'll be looking to get him for cheap. Probably, chances I would end up getting him on loan, just like we did for Sancho. I don't know. Waldo says I like João Pedro, but I think we will overpay again. I don't think we'll overpay for any other player again. Trust me. I still think we overpaid for Caicedo. I mean, value for the money, in my opinion. There were other clubs interested, willing to pay even more than we paid. Liverpool didn't they offer a lot more? For instance, in the case of Romeo Lavia, they offered a lot more, right? So no, I wouldn't say we overpaid. Yeah, for Caicedo, even though he's one of the best midfielders in the world right now, I wouldn't say we overpaid, but again, we're all entitled to our respective opinions. Share Wendy, nice to see you. I do appreciate you finding time to join the show this particular morning. Still 5:47 a.m. for me. This is Big Up Coach. Good morning. Good morning to you too from Ghana, my West African bro. What is your thoughts on João Pedro? I like him. I do like him actually. Maybe we should actually compare him to our players, their numbers for the just concluded season and see how they compare. I would like him to Pies or Kudus. Uh, Kudus may well. I think. I don't know. I think the only thing I'm. I'd be happy if we can get the again get the Kudus deal over the line because rumors are they were really pushing to sign him. Um, Unlike Pies or Kudus, Pies will go out on loan. It wouldn't make sense to keep him. If we keep Pies at Chelsea, he is not going to play much, and that will you could say dwarf his development, which it just doesn't make any sort of sense. He needs to be playing week in week out, given his talent. I feel so bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. I'm happy because I you were hopeful to see him. His thing, I think the way his thing out of selfishness, but I don't think the club they don't make decisions that way. I think the best decision would be for him to go out on loan. It just wouldn't make sense to keep Pies at Chelsea. Um, he's not going to play enough to continue developing. Look at Andreas Santos; he's back now, and the rest assured, it's either he gets to start games or he doesn't. I'm quite sure, maybe not all the games, but if he doesn't see, if there's no space for him, I think he'd push to leave, and rightly so, because he's proven that he should be given, you could say, the opportunity to prove himself at Chelsea, and I think he will get that because he's gone on loan, out on loan for 2 seasons, and did prove that he's actually, you could argue, better out fulfilled. You could say we don't have actually his profile at Chelsea right now. We don't. He's different. He's not. I've heard people compare him to Enzo Fernandez, but they're not the same. Enzo Fernandez is more of a deep line playmaker, whereas Sanchez himself is more of a box to box midfielder. So, but my point is, he's back. He's proven himself elsewhere. You say that you give him that opportunity, or he's gone. It's really that simple. So Pies needs to do the same. He needs to go out, go on loan to Strasbourg and prove himself. And I think he gets to play week in, week out because he's a good player. But at Chelsea, nah, he will rust on the bench. It's not about Mudryk, but he won't be playing for us again. I mean, he's still listed as our one of our best players, and let's see. He's hired good lawyers. He hired the lawyers that helped Pogba reduce a 4-year sentence to just 18 months, which is reflective of the fact they are really good at what they do. So my hope is that they'd help him reduce his too. I think he will face some measure of ban. How long? I don't know, really. Good morning to you too, Real Gems. Nice to see you, bro. I appreciate you finding time to join us. I'm not gonna lie, I prefer João Pedro instead of Gittens. No, Gittens is a much better dribbler. I think we're looking at Pedro as more of, you can say, a direct competition for Nicholas Jackson, and also because his versatility, his ability to play on the flanks and the central area. No, Gittens we're looking at him as a winger that he is. He's in the top 1% in terms of successful dribbles, and he scores a lot of goals. We need that. Gittins is exactly what we need. João Pedro is different. I like Kudus. I like him before he went to West Ham United. He's still that same player. You can argue the crisis at West Ham United is one of the reasons why we haven't seen the best of him. And they have a horrible manager right now. I don't need to mention his name, but you know who. Constantine Dunn. Big up to you, the captain of the community. Always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, ill discipline is your biggest problem. All right, but nice to see you. All right, bro, take all the time you need. Oh, Shay, okay, I apologize. Sincerely, do apologize. Look, this I did not know. Yeah, we've met, but albeit online. We haven't met in person, so there's no way I'd know. So I sincerely do apologize. So thank you for letting me know. But I'm happy that you did get a chuckle out of that. That makes me happy. Oh my goodness. I sincerely do apologize. So more likes, people, more likes. We're getting closer and closer to 26,000 subscribers. We are at 25,969. Okay, 31 more subscribers to get to 26K. I think that probably is going to happen today. So 17 likes. We can do a lot better than that. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's see. He got injured at West Ham. That's why his numbers aren't that impressive. Okay, you're talking about the just concluded season. Okay. I'm not talking to you. I hope the right player is signed. I don't think we're not signing players for the sake of it. Although if we see the opportunity to sign certain players, I think we do it. It depends on the asking price in terms of the transfer fee, just like we did in the case of João Felix. We know, yeah, that he'd be part of the squad, get to play, contribute to our success. But if it doesn't work out, we'll be able to sell him a lot more because a lot higher than what we paid for. Yeah. But African Tales and Stories, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. I honestly think we should go for Ismail Assar as well, the Crystal Palace player. I think that's too much. I think we're loaded actually in that department. You didn't know shit. I didn't know. Given the name, is that what you're trying to say? I don't know. I don't even know the origin of the name, Shay. Here's the thing. I realized today that she's a Ghanaian. I didn't know where she was from. And you can say we've met, albeit online. We haven't met in person, so there's no way to tell whether I was talking to a woman or a man. But I'm glad she did. She did get a huge chuckle out of it when I referenced. You say I addressed her as a man, but no offense, and she knows. Abdullah. Nice to see you, Abdullah. I do hope you're doing well. Rizazada. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. If I didn't, apologies. Give your answer to what? Did you ask any question? You haven't asked any questions, so what answer to what question do you want? So let's see. CFC Travis says this guy and Kudus both for 80 million is good. 30 million for him, 50 for Kudus. Sell Madueke for at least 50 million, and we have a replacement for him. Madueke looks like you could argue he's on shaky grounds. And just as I told Bobby yesterday, it just seems as if the bigger the occasion, uh, you can say the more he struggled. He was awful in a conference league final. He was awful against LAFC. I hope maybe it's a one-off thing, but I wouldn't say it's a one-off thing because two counts right now. I hope he changes. I don't know whether even though he's hired a personal trainer, but I think the biggest problem is his footballing intelligence. Honestly, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope he gets better because he can capable of pulling off. You could say uh, surprises here and then, but never consistent enough, in my opinion. Just go away, leave me alone. All right. For some reason, I don't think Kudus is adaptable or better than Madueke. He's way better than Madueke. He's way, way better than Madueke, in my opinion. Even let's say, even if we look at if we compare their numbers, and it turns out he's actually Madueke finished the season better than him. I still say he's better than Madueke. He's a more productive dribbler than Madueke. I'm not sure how it's. I don't. I would take Kudus anytime, any day than Nani Madueke. Again, that's me, honestly. So I wouldn't. No, Kudus is way better than Madueke, honestly. But that's a small opinion anyway. Let's see. Javier Madueke is a little more intelligent than Kudus. Okay. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. He's definitely better than Tony. That's how I see it. I never liked Madueke, to be honest. I think everyone knows that his touch can be phenomenal sometimes, but it's so rare. Also, he hardly takes his opposition player on, which annoys me as well. He, I think when it matters, actually, when you expect him to beat his man, he doesn't. Just pulls off some good stuff every now and then, but doesn't do that consistently. And there are some things you can say if you rewatch the LA game against LAFC, you'd see occasions where a more intelligent player would look to find his teammates rather than try to dribble. And let me just say something that Dante he said 1,000 times about Madueke. He doesn't look up. He lacks doesn't you could say majority of the times doesn't have good awareness of his surroundings, which you expect to be you could say you'd say which should be the most important tool for a winger, but that's not the case. Dante, big up and thank you for finding the time to be with us on the panel. I don't know if you have anything to add with what we're currently talking about. Up to you.
Yeah, big up, coach. Everyone
Big
in the
up to
chat.
you too.
Big up, Shay Wendy, the lady in the house. Yeah, must have some agenda against Madueke. Jeez, wow, poor Madueke is copying it, isn't he? Yeah, look, I can add plenty to that, but I probably won't add too much. Just look, his awareness, 100%. His head's always down when most of the time when he's crossing, because that's not the first thing on his mind. So when it's secondary, that always happens. That should have grown out of him by now, so it hasn't. So that's pretty disappointing that it hasn't. We know no right foot. That's the other one, and because of that, he's very, very predictable. So how many times have you seen him cut in and shoot into the defender? Probably 10 times a game he does that. So yeah, he's predictable. The defenders know what he's going to do, and because he doesn't have that creative aspect to his game to set up other people, he thinks about scoring first. Well, then the defenders know how to position themselves pretty much 95% of the time, and he's not that hard to read what he's going to do. So I thought he would have grown out of it by now, but unfortunately he hasn't. I think he's actually regressed. I think he's gotten worse, in my opinion, especially the last sort of 10 to 15 games, especially the last 10 games when the pressure was at highest. He's just disappeared and doing basic, stupid little errors that she shouldn't be doing anyway, which is just not even controlling the ball properly, passing it wrong.
And
All the basic errors.
unnecessary dribbles. That's when
Unnecessary dribbles, but he's like tripping over his own feet, and he's actually regressed a lot. Now I'm not sure what's that down to. It could be add some off-field stuff. It could be just concentration. But yeah, he needed to do a lot better, especially when the pressure was on those last 10 games. He did not turn up at all. So that was the test for all the other players. They all turned up, most of them. Unfortunately, he was the one that, in my opinion, lacked the most and didn't contribute enough at all. So look, we'll wait and see. Look, he's still young. He can still improve, obviously. But do we give him more time? Well, that's up to the coach, Maresca, obviously. We know Maresca does like him. He's like a second son sometimes because he started so many games.
But let me bring you back to something we've already talked about. Maresca likes him, is
Yes.
that he can't do otherwise at the moment.
Yeah. He didn't
Once
have
there are
anything else.
other options better than
Correct.
him, I think that's it. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah. So if Gittens comes in, for example, he can do that on a higher level, in my opinion, even though
Gittens, Quenda,
younger.
and then we have
Yep.
Cole Palmer, who is also capable of playing on the flanks. Estevao, Willian,
Estevao.
I think he's gone.
Look, Estevao as well. I think he's probably lucky that Estevao that went with Palmeiras didn't come with us at this Club World Cup, because I think if he did come and played the way he's capable of playing, he probably would have already lost his spot. But he's going to still have a spot there because he's going to come after. So we'll wait and see what happens. Hopefully, he can get it together. I don't mind him as a player. I like him as a player, but it's just too much now. It's gone too long, and I can't support that because he's, in my opinion, he's regressed. So yeah, it's either the club. Well, there's some briefs out there that he might be sold. He's available for sale. We don't know if it's true
Oh,
or
you're
not.
into briefs now.
Yeah, I'm the PR. I'm into PR and briefs. Correct, coach. I'm part of them. Don't you remember? So yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if he does get sold if there's a good offer on the table, and there's other players available that we can buy that are much more ready than he is. We'll wait and see. But we know Maresca loves him, so that could be he's still got another ticket, maybe, like I said, next year as well, at least up till January.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to saying what we already talked about. Maresca loves him. It's because yeah, there are no better options. I think once that changes, I think he'd probably be the one to push to leave. That's
Well,
a
one
good
thing
player
I've
in
noticed,
there, but
sorry, coach.
I don't know whether he's gonna improve to the extent you could say, because I think the whole thing comes down to his footballing intelligence. And when a player is intelligent, again, from the you can say intelligence wise, for lack of a more
IQ,
specific way
football
to
IQ.
phrase that, or more relatable language to use there, usually that doesn't change.
Yeah, his
That
football
doesn't
IQ is
change.
not the
There are
highest.
certain, if we're talking about issues of him being too selfish, then you can say, yeah, that is something that will improve as he matures. But footballing intelligence is something, if you don't have it, you don't have it, in my opinion. I hope that's not the case, because, yeah, I'm just voicing my opinion anyway. But go ahead if you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, his football IQ is not the highest. It can improve a little bit, but it's never going to improve too much. You have to either really have it or you don't. There's a little bit of improvement that can happen, but it never improves, like doubles up and improves amazingly. That just doesn't happen. So it's either pretty much you've got it or you don't, and a little adjustment here and there might help you. And Maresca's done that. He's moved him to the left. So he's moved him to the left so he can run more and cut in onto his right and use his right foot more. It's kind of given him that license to do that. And he did that in the first game he played there. He had a couple of shots. I mean, yeah, they were on target. They weren't very powerful. The keeper was always going to save him, but it was a good sign that, okay, he's kind of pushing him to use his right foot and put him on the left and try something different with him. So he's giving him even that opportunity. But now the last probably handful of games playing in that left-hand side, he's stagnated there as well. He hasn't done anything there as well either. So Maresca's played him on the right, and then he's given the opportunity to go on the left, and he's kind of failed there as well, to be honest. So that tells me the manager is kind of looking for options for him to try to get him to snap out of it and get into it, but it's not working. So that tells me that, yeah, he might be on the way out of someone. Look, if like a Kudus comes in, we're talking about Kudus. If he comes in, there's no way he's starting over Kudus. Not even close. No chance. Kudus will be starting over him all the time. I think Neto starts over him as he improves, especially with the striker now. Neto's going to get a lot of assists next season because he has a striker there that can put the ball in the back of the net. So, yeah.
I'm gonna catch up with what we have, then I'll come back. So we talk about Mihailo Mudryk. It pained
Yep.
me. I have hopes for reasons I will explain, and I'm working on a video on that, on why I think he probably gets a lighter ban, maybe even lighter than that of Paul Pogba. But we'll see. Chimera, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And exactly, coach, that's a better way of phrasing it. I appreciate that. Crazy. My bro, big up Coach and Tobejo. Get me Gittens and Fofana on the left. If we sell Madueke, then get Kudus. Let Willian learn the 10 role and be a third option on the right. Interesting. Yeah, very predictable. And it yeah, everybody here cooking Madueke. I mean, when he's on again, he's great, but so inconsistent. The bigger the occasion, the less effective. That's the pattern. I'd say I've noticed. The owners are finally getting a clue. If they green light Kudus, top player with more range than Mudryk and Madueke, do not mention my boy's name. Dante, I'm sure you've heard it. It's unfortunate. I think you can argue eventually it was gonna come out anyway. You'd say it's out now. He's been charged. I'm quite sure probably gonna fight it tooth and nail, and the club will still support him. He's still listed as a Chelsea player. Um, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. And I saw Ryan, aka Khalid, comparing his situation to that of Mutu. Mutu's case was different.
That's
Mutu's
completely
case was
different.
an addiction of the highest level. I don't want to mention that, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. But in this case, he's still very young. Mutu at the time older than him, right?
Yeah. Of
And in
course.
this case, that's a chance it was a setup. We don't know. I'm not saying it is. I wasn't there. Chances are he was he was aware before again what he was ingesting. I wasn't there, but I wouldn't compare his case to that of Mutu. But I want to get your opinion. What do you think happened? What's next for him? What do you think happens? Do you think his Chelsea career is over? Definitely, his football career isn't over. But Chelsea, do you think his Chelsea career is over?
Yeah, look, the Mutu case, that's completely different. Mutu, that was a party. He used to party to do that. That's completely different.
So
This winner,
Mutu's case was um, where?
it was recreational slash drug that he partied a lot with
Hmm.
and did it often to party. And that's completely different because he was willingly taking it and often taking it and even did the celebration on field. I don't know if you remember the celebration he did on field as well.
I don't remember honestly.
Yeah. He went across to the white lines and on the field after he scored a goal. So that was a bit of a giveaway. Anyway, he got obviously, like you said, a bit of an addiction, and he got it, carried away with it, and that's completely different. Yeah, so that's an automatic in the contracts, automatic, cancellation of a contract, and basically the Chelsea sued him and even got money off him. So that's completely different. We don't know Mudryk the exact details, but we kind of know that he's saying that it wasn't like he didn't mean to take it. He didn't know he was taking it. So, but like I kept saying all along, it doesn't matter. He's still probably going to be out a couple of years either way because the case they'll take longer to go by the time it gets through, by the time it appeals, by the time they make a decision that it gets the ban, which just came through now. So that's been, how long has that taken now for the ban? That's taken nearly a year, 8 months, I think 8 months. So that's the first phase of it. The next phase of it now basically will be him appealing and reducing his, it might still be guilty, but reducing his like Pogba did, to 18 months. So look, he won't be around for this season. I doubt it very much. Either way, he won't be around this season. He'll probably be out another 8 months or so, even if he gets it reduced. So basically, another year he'll be out. So I think the club already knew that, and I think that the sign was there because we're looking at Gittens pretty much automatically to come in, but we're also looking for another one. So once that news came out, I kind of knew, well, that they know he's not coming back. So now it's for certain he's not coming back. how long it's up to the club to decide. How they would have had an investigation into it, obviously already, and they know what the circumstances and what the evidence is. The club there will be a clause in his contract to terminate his contract if they want. They would have grounds probably to do that if they wanted to. But if it's only 8 months, the club might look to keep him. Like if he's out for another, say, 6 months to 8 months, another basically next season or half next season, we're not sure. Well, then they'll probably keep him. I don't think if they know 100% that he's not guilty, that he didn't mean to take it, and the evidence is there, they will. But on the other hand, if there is evidence there, they will cancel his contract straight away, because there will be a clause in the contract, which there is in every single contract for that type of stuff. They can cancel the contract straight away. And basically, if they want to take it further, they can even sue. But usually that doesn't happen, because not on this type of stuff. Like I said, the Mutu one was completely different. That's why they did that. So, yeah, look, we don't know exactly every little detail. It's sad because I think he was improving, and Maresca really took him under his wing, and he was really starting to do really well under Maresca. And we saw a lot of signs of improvement. He was on the right trajectory. But yeah, unfortunately, this can happen. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully his Chelsea career is not over. But yeah,
It
I'm
doesn't
afraid
look good, really.
it doesn't look good
It
for
doesn't
now.
look good. The
Anyway, for the
fact
next
that his
season, he won't be
short
here.
number was given um to Parma. I know, like I said, that alone doesn't suggest that, yeah, that definitely his Chelsea career is over. But there are other factors. You did mention one of them, which is the pursuit of Gittens and all the winkers we're looking at. Uh, I mean, it'd be correct to say that, yeah, his Chelsea career is over, really.
Can't say that with certainty, coach, like I said, because it all depends. The finer details we don't know. So it all depends on that. Yeah, there'll be stipulations in the contract about it, but we can't see it. We don't know it. So until that actually comes out, we won't know. I'm sure the club will make a statement now, hopefully in the near future, because that the ban has come through, that it's been accepted. So that will definitely happen. But yeah, we don't know the finer details for exactly, but we just know, yeah, the number 10 given to Parma, I don't think that was too much to do with that. It probably have a little bit to do with it, but I think that was a marketing opportunity. The Club World Cup, Parma, 10, star player. How many shirts will that sell in America and all over the world, him as the number 10? So I think that was more of a marketing opportunity more than Mudryk, to be honest. But I could have had a little bit to do with it as well, yeah.
I'm pained, man. I really like the kid, but it is what it is. It doesn't look like it doesn't look good, really. But a lot of people saying hello to you. I don't know why they think you're important. Because, by the way, I think I've addressed this one.
Coach, look, he's young, so he'll be back. No, in football, he'll be back.
No, definitely. I don't think his career is over. Definitely not. He will actually be back better, and any team that gets him will be lucky. But I hope it doesn't end in a manner that he'd be burdened in terms of what he'd owe Chelsea.
Yeah, look, I don't think Chelsea, the club, will not abandon him. They won't let it happen. If they know the details that it was just a mistake, and I don't think, they will ban him. They probably will suspend like payments, as in salary, maybe stuff like that. So the club's looking after itself, but also looking after the players.
And then his summer club won't get what we owe them.
Exactly. Business-wise, Chelsea will look after themselves, but player-wise, they will be after the player, and they'll look after the player. And if it's just 8 months or something out, or another 6 months out, well, then the player will probably most likely stay a Chelsea player, and he will come back as a Chelsea player.
I think I did see a report that says something to the effect of the club still helping him with the lawyers and all that. I can't quite remember what I read.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know, really.
We don't know.
But we'll see. Let's see. He's hired Paul Pogba's lawyers, and they were able to get a 4-year ban reduced to 18 months. That's reflective of the fact that they are good at what they do. And you could argue his case, from what we've heard, his case is actually, you can argue, easier to deal with than that of Pogba.
Correct. Yeah. So that's why I still have hopes that he probably might be out just another 6 months or something. And then the club will, like I said, the club will look after itself financially, but as in, don't pay some of to Shakhtar or maybe his wage. but they'll still keep the player and they'll put him back on the book straight away after, or maybe not take him off completely at all. Maybe just not pay Shakhtar at all. So they'll find a way financially that it works. It's a win-win for both.
Yeah. Pedro, I don't know if you want to add to that. Just give me a minute. Let me catch up here. Mudryk's case is really unfortunate with him. I wish him the best, really. I mean, what they're saying, I'm shocked it took this long to come out that Mudryk is banned, because everyone knew what was going on, what was going to happen anyway. Yes, and probably that may well be a sign that he can actually beat his case and get a much reduced ban.
This is, coach, this is how long it takes. This is kind of average how long it would take anyway.
Okay.
That's what I said. It's going to take, usually takes up to a year for the process to go through with all the paperwork, all the panel, blah, blah, all the decisions, all the samples. You're wiping off a year. That's why I said he's going to be out all year last year already. I already said he's going to be out, because that's, even if he's guilty or not guilty, it's going to take a year anyway. So that's pretty much what's been 8 months, 9 months, nearly a year now. So that's exactly what's happened. So it's always going to take that long. That's how long they take, unfortunately, to make these decisions.
Oh my gosh, his career isn't over. No, if anything, some clubs will listen. He'll learn the biggest lesson of his life. Yep, he will learn a lot from it. Hopefully, at least I believe that would be the case. But his career is definitely not over. He still has a long way to go. Really, I think he will get something like a 2-year ban at max. This case is nothing like the Parbas. Then it will be a lot less, honestly. But let's see what happens here. And on Mudryk, even on Mudryk, even that's crazy either. On Mudryk, even if he gets the sentence reduced on grounds that it was not intentional, he's still guilty. Listen, the rule, you're responsible. The rule clearly, you say, states that you're responsible for whatever you ingest. So it's your responsibility. You can say, to be sure you don't taking the wrong stuff. Yeah. So on the grounds that it was not intentional, he's still guilty. Yep. It doesn't matter. Of course. The only thing is that he will learn from it. That's just that. But he will still face some measure of punishment of having the substance in his system. I think his career at Chelsea could be over. Yeah, possibly. But to say his career as a footballer is over, no, not even close. And then we have Chimera here saying at least Pogba was declining in performance because of his age, but Mudryk didn't need that stuff in his system. I've never thought about needing drug enhancement in my prime, and and you were a rubbish player. Good to hear. The Prince is here. Big up to you too. Big up everyone. Mudryk's condition, it's painful right now. Anyway, best of luck to him. That's all we can do. No sentiments at all. And I think the club would do their best to support him. I think until it's, you can say it's not possible. That's when, until it becomes an issue, a burden. That's when they will say bye, Felicia. Greetings to you too, Emmanuel Obeda. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Longest time indeed. And hopefully your absence simply means that you've been busy. If that's the case, I'm happy for you. Bills don't pay themselves. Tabeho, Misha. Anything you want to say?
I'm here.
Hey, Tobago's
Big
here.
Big up, Dante.
Tobago.
Yeah, to be honest, in terms of Misha, yeah, it's so sad for him, but hopefully he can get an appeal and then they can reduce the ban. But overall, another thing, right? You guys didn't mention, he's currently 24 years old. So if they deny him a sort of a cut, he'll be 28 years old. So do you think he'll come to Chelsea at 28 years old? For me, personally,
if they do what?
if they deny him a
Okay.
a
Oh, they appeal.
appeal.
They haven't
Yes,
actually. They haven't actually. You could say we haven't.
launch one.
He's yeah. We haven't. What we heard. It's again. The report is just that he's been charged and could face up to 4 year ban. Up to you understand. So nothing is done yet.
Yeah, nothing is done yet, but coach, for example, let's say everything is done right now. They deny him an appeal, so that means he will be 28 years old in the 4 years coming. So for me personally, his Chelsea career is over. But in terms of a football player, I don't think his career is over. So hopefully, like Dante said, they can reduce it maybe to 6 months or even less than a year. Then we'll see what will happen.
If he gets a 4 year ban, I think Chelsea will say bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
That's it. Or except if no, I think he's done. His Chelsea career will be done if he gets a 4 year ban. But as Dante said, if it's just a few months, even a year, I think yeah, they will weather it.
Well, he can't, he's already basically served 8-9 months, basically.
Okay, they
Anyway,
will count that the what
correct.
that the ban
So if he gets two
under the
years, yeah,
is it what's it called? Is it provisional or what's it called?
yeah, coach is just part of it. I can't remember
Yeah,
the name, but he's already
so
served
that still
basically eight
counts.
months, 8-9 months. Of course, it counts. Yes, yes. So he will not get it reduced lower. He'll if he gets reduced to 2 years, then he's got another 6-7 months to go, or whatever, 8-9 months, and then if he gets it reduced, lower, then he can come back straight away, basically. So it just depends. But he does have a right of appeal. They can't refuse an appeal. That is that law is in place. He can appeal. He's got a right to appeal, and they can't deny an appeal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but the court of arbitration, I think they're very powerful. They override the Premier League and stuff,
Yeah, they're
and even
powerful, coach,
FIFA. They
but
do
they're
override
also
FIFA
very
decisions, right?
they're also very easy to navigate with money. It's not that hard to navigate them with money, to be honest.
Yeah,
The more you
yeah.
drag it
I
out, you
think
can drag it
yeah.
out.
You could say I've experienced a lot of stuff to say. Yeah, probably. What you could say once Man City go to them or clubs go to them, that's it. They usually cut the sentence or the punishment in half.
Correct. Yeah. Look, money. They don't want to. They don't want to spend money. If Mudryk appeals and he goes, they don't want that because then they have to spend a lot of money on their side to keep the case going and appeal and blah blah blah. They don't want to spend money, so they always use. They always. Well, look at Pogba for example. It was much worse, and he got reduced. So yeah, look, he will definitely appeal. I think he'll definitely get reduced because it's not the same. Uh, and we know he did the lie detector test as well, so and passed. So
The
he's got
one
a bit
that
of a
the his former club's president talked about. I think that's them trying to make sure they don't lose
to
what
get
we
their
still
money.
owe them. In my
Yeah,
opinion,
but it was done officially, and it was done with one of the best. So it was done officially. They just paid for it because they, want their money from Chelsea. But yeah, look,
the
I think he'll
lawyers will
get.
use that to a great effect.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see him getting the 4 year ban. Not even close. He'll get reduced, and he'll probably get reduced. And I think he'll probably be back by January if everything they've said is true. That is, he took it unwillingly and blah blah blah. Well, like I said, if they throw a bit of money on it at proper lawyers, which he has, the council they usually reduce everything because they don't want stuff to go on because it costs them a lot of money to do that, and they don't have that type of money to compete with big lawyers and big money from football teams. They don't have that. They don't have those capabilities. That's why they always reduce everything because they're cutting costs basically.
It's painful, really. And the prince is saying this is a great lesson to everyone as a professional footballer should be mindful what to take in, what to eat at any given time. A lesson to learn. I think former Arsenal player he blamed his on his wife, saying he took one of his wife's medication. Um, I think he was Tory. But that's by the way, I was a very oh, you were sick. Sorry to hear that. Almost lost your life. Grateful to be alive. Happy to hear that you're alive. Again, we didn't know. There's no way to, but we're just happy you're here. I'm happy you're here right now, and happy you didn't lose your life. Um, Whatever it is that you went through, I'm just happy that you survived it. So thank you for letting us know. Wish you were, if one you're streaming in a vertical format that with pops and balloon and fireworks to celebrate you being alive. But thank you for letting us know, and welcome back. Welcome back.
100%.
Let's see. Yeah, they have to count the months he's already been out for, and the crazy E is saying, I don't think the time served in suspension will count as part of the ban. Was that the case in Pogba's case? I think it was.
It was.
Dante, wasn't it?
All cases are like that because basically it's part of the procedure. It's the investigation starts. Yeah, it's part of the procedure.
Okay, so once they get to decide, okay, yeah, you're guilty or not, it counts.
Yeah, because otherwise, then the players go back and sue the council. They have to pay them out because they haven't played, and you know how much money that is. That's a lot of money, and they don't want that. Like I said, money. Unfortunately, money makes that world spin, and usually the ones with the more money and more time and patience, they can get anything overturned in most of those cases.
I'm still waiting to hear the verdict on City's one. Is it 115 accusations?
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
Keep waiting,
Yeah,
coach. We'll keep
and
waiting.
I knew at the time they were going to throw a lot of liars on it. That's going to take a lot to convict them, really.
Like I said, time. They're gonna drag it out till the end of time because they've got the money to do that. The EPL, they're gonna cave in because they don't want they don't have that money to do that. What they're doing, that people have no idea how much that costs with
Yeah,
lawyers.
that's it. Go ahead. I'm hearing the oven beeping before the alarm goes off. It
Go
looks like
before
my
the house
wife
burns
left
down.
something inside.
Go. Yeah, Tobago, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here, bro.
Oh, you're still here. Yeah, so yeah, that time will count if he does say he gets reduced to 2 years or 1 year, or that time will count already that he served. So if he gets reduced to 1 year, well then he pretty much will be back very soon, pretty much in a couple of months. So I think he's still a Chelsea player if that happens. Even if it gets reduced to 2 years and he's still got like another 6, 7, 8 months to go, I think he's still a Chelsea player as well then. But if it's longer than that and they know the details that he's guilty, well, then he'll completely be out because then they'll have a clause in the contract to escape the contract. But yeah, look, it's a shame. Do you have anything else more to add to that, Tobago? Do you know anything more about it? Have you seen anything else pop up? Any more information?
Nothing yet, bro.
And I
Like
was
we've
going
been
to say,
saying. Hope.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Apologies.
Oh, the house didn't burn down.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, I could smell it, and I because I was hearing the beep. I said, "What's going on?" Until I started hearing the smell of what's in the oven, so I had to go turn it off.
What were they cooking, Coach?
No, just what's it called? Biscuits.
Ah, biscuits. Nice. Go
So
on,
I was
Tobago.
gonna say, even if he gets you could say you could say not let's say about a year ban. If he comes back to Chelsea, I think they will renegotiate his contract because I'm quite sure they're probably contributing to the whole process in terms of from a financial perspective, given what we've heard.
Could be. Yeah, most likely that's the case. But like I said, the club will always protect itself financially first, and then the player, but not Shakhtar. And that's where I think that's why you saw the Shakhtar president pay for and get one of the best with the lie detector test to get that done because there was a clear sign they want to protect their interests and the money they are yet to receive.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, really. Mudryk is an example. Let's see, is an example of what high expectations are due to a young, inexperienced player. He knew he was poor wearing that iconic. Shut up. Oh my god! So he did the unthinkable and took a shortcut. The owners for just go away. Don't. I'm not going to read your comment again.
Well, it
Um,
wasn't that iconic for us to 10. It wasn't that iconic,
Yeah,
to be
if they
honest.
don't count the months, the player can use that as leverage in court.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not that straightforward, really. But I like the kid, but good luck to him. I hope he gets through. So what else do we have here? Chelsea have also looked at RB Leipzig's as Xavi Simons and Ugo Ekitike, but have been uh, put off the latter by Frankfurt's 84 million pounds valuation. Can we stop talking about it? This is just the same thing as the thing. You remember what we've been telling people every time they mention Nico Williams? You know what's happening right now. He's taking a pay cut to join Barcelona.
Of course. Yeah. Well, he's taking a pay cut, but let's not forget how much money he will get from sponsorships and endorsements because he's playing for Barcelona. So he's not taking a pay cut. Actually, he's gonna make way more money there.
You think he's going to make a lot of money?
Oh yeah, of course, coach. The brand endorsements, companies come and endorse him and promote him, and he signs up way more money that he would ever be earning at Bilbao, even on double the salary at Bilbao. He'll be earning a lot more money at Barcelona on a lower salary because of that.
Yeah, I think we've always known, and yes, and especially when I heard that we're seriously interested in signing at Gittens, I didn't. I stopped talking. I kept reminding people that Gittens actually is a much better. Would be a much better fit to the way Maresca plays than him, because Gittens scores goals and creates too, and as it matures, he'll have a balance of both. You know, you could argue the fact that he scores a lot means that he's a bit selfish, given that the fact that he's a winger. You get my point, Dante. And I think we actually
Yeah.
did see something that reflective of that fact the day we compared their numbers.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, we compared the numbers. Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did. Yeah.
We looked at that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Javi's, is this Simmons? I think it's pronounced Simmons, a top player, but we are already over stacked in that 10 position. Do we actually have, how many natural 10s do we have? None.
well, KDH is the backup basically, and Estevao now, who will be another option in that 10 as
Oh,
well.
yeah. But despite the way, Bobby, a big up to you and thank you for joining us on the panel. Sincerely do appreciate you. We've talked about, I think we'd like to bring in you. We just got done talking about Mihail Mudryk. Anything you want to add to that, his situation, where we are, and if it something you've heard that we don't know about, please educate us, Bobby.
Well, before I get to Modric,
Okay.
big up, guys.
Big up to you too,
I
brother.
just
Yeah, Bobby.
Before I get to Modric, I've got to say Xavi Simmons is not the kind of player we want. I think we should be wholeheartedly fixed on getting in Kudus. Kudus can play that role effectively and I think excellently. Even João Pedro. Xavi Simmons is too lightweight, too much of a weakling for the Premier League, and he's not going to fit in at all. In terms of what's the other point you guys were making? Who was it you're talking about?
Mudryk.
Oh, Mudryk. Well, Mudryk is done, isn't he? He keeps professing his innocence, but apparently he failed the B sample. That's why. That's why the FA charged him. Now he can appeal. Yes, I think his best get out of jail card would be ignorance, to say that he didn't really know what he was taking. That could work because there's empathy towards him. The whole kind of Ukraine thing and the fact that he's young is a card that his lawyers or representatives will play. But the whole thing has been a sad course of events.
How
Uh,
about, let me say this, Bobby, quickly. How about the fact that in Pogba's case, you could argue they've set the precedent?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and he's using the same law firm that represented Pogba that got his 4-year ban reduced to just 18 months. He's using them, and from what we've heard, his Pogba's case is actually more severe than his.
yeah. I mean, we can hope, for him to get a reduction. That would be good. But the thing about these things is that it always carries a sort of stain. Um,
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
you tend to, and he's somebody that, to be honest with you, when I heard it, I wasn't surprised. That just my personal opinion. He's so into keep fit, body building, that sort of thing, that it just doesn't surprise me. The competition
I mean,
is
it makes it
fierce.
easier to believe that, yeah, he's probably into it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, is that being judgmental? It's just my opinion. I'm not surprised. I can see him taking stuff, or his handlers getting him to take stuff, to help him
And to add
perform.
to that, chances are his handlers may be adding it to his stuff without him knowing because we're not there. We don't know.
Well, that's true, but he needs to be very careful with that, because then it opens a whole new can of worms, because his handlers will have to be known. Well, who are the people handling you? And if you're spiking somebody's drink or food with certain
You'll be
things,
found out.
yeah, and you're bordering on some sort of criminal um, uh, 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 situation. And if they're not in the country, or they're not sort of within the jurisdiction of our law, they will still be open to litigation. So it's a whole can of worms. Apart, and not to mention the smear. So if it's not true, and they may have a comeback, and it could get messy. It could get really messy if you go down that road. Um, so I don't know. They need to be careful. He has a chance to get it reduced. I think the big question here is, what does Chelsea do? Will Chelsea take him back after this?
Like Dante said, it depends on the length of his absence.
Okay, that's a sensible answer.
And yeah, it does. That does make sense. Yeah, it depends on the. But Bobby, how does he? If you remember the case of Mutu, how do they
Yeah, he's
compare?
already served 8 months, Bobby, basically. So
8 months, did you say?
Yeah, he's
yes,
been
he's
out
been
for
out.
8 months
He's already
already, and
basically
that
served that.
counts.
They take that into consideration.
Okay, well, let's wait and see. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. And also another thing I'm interested in is, I know all the bonuses won't be going to Shakhtar, that's for sure. But is he being paid by the club? You can't pay a player who has violated the rules and is doing nothing. That doesn't make sense. So I suspect he's not being paid. That's why Chelsea have moved on, and rightly so.
He's
Usually
still
they
listed
can
as
pay.
our
Yeah.
player. Here's what I want to say. I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of imagination, but I'm going to say before he was charged, I think the club would be obliged to be paying him because he's still, at the time, proclaiming his innocence, saying, I didn't do anything.
No, but he was suspended from his trade and banished from the
But
football club.
what's the term? What ban, provisional ban? What's it called again? What's the term for it?
It doesn't matter. The terms of the ban was such that he was not allowed to train with the team, not
Yeah.
to mention play with the team. It was an all-out embargo on
So
him.
which means no salaries for him.
Well, I can't see how you can pay
Usually,
somebody under those circumstances.
Hmm.
it's a Chelsea decision. They can choose to keep paying him if they think, because they would have done an investigation themselves. If they think he's completely innocent, blah blah blah, then they could have chose to do. But they also would have the option of suspending his salary, but still helping him out with the lawyers and everything else.
It's
I
not
don't
as
know.
simple as
I
you
can't
sound like
comment
that.
on that. Yeah, it's possible. I don't see why though, but it's possible.
Oh,
The
it would have
club
been
may.
exposed 100%. Bobby. It's in the contract. They would have had that option, 100%,
What option?
to not pay him, to suspend his pay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, what contract would you blooming sign if somebody has completely been banished from doing your trade to keep paying
Yeah.
him? So
And you'll be
that
paying
makes
them without
absolute
doing their
sense.
job.
But if the club decide to still offer him all this leverage and support, that is what I don't know. I really don't know
Yeah, and they did
if
say that
that's.
they are looking after him, but it didn't sound. It sounded like just from the law that looking after him, the law
Yeah,
side.
probably. Yeah, helping him get
Yeah,
lawyers, paid lawyers.
exactly, which is a big cost as well, huge
Yeah,
cost. Yeah.
because
And
wow.
who's going to cover that cost?
Well, Chelsea's pretty much said that they're going to help him with that. So, but like you said, if they then suspended his pay, well, they can help him with that because his pay is much more anyway. So it's no big deal to help. But the club will always help a player if they're innocent. Till proven guilty, they will
You could
always
argue
do that.
for image reasons that
Yeah,
you take
yeah,
care of your
yeah,
own. That
Have to, yeah.
aspect, I
yeah.
don't think would be an issue.
You have to, because that's something the players appeals to players. They can't tarnish their name because of that. So they would always have to back the player 100% till proven guilty or innocent, depends. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. It's a shame. It really is. I don't know. He was just beginning to try and find his feet. I'm not saying he was ripping up trees, but he was improving slowly. And who knows? I think this will set him back a lot.
He will. But he's still very young. We'll pick up from where he stopped whenever yeah, he serves his ban. Yeah, justice for Mudryk. I don't know whether I agree with that because I don't know whether he did it or not. But if he didn't, justice for him. But at least he injustice something. Whether the question is whether he did it knowingly or not, but it doesn't make a difference. You're responsible for whatever you ingest. I think he did say his personal coaches were feeding him certain things as well. What?
Yeah.
I need to research. They always target soccer players. It's wrong. But yeah, you're responsible for for whatever you ingest. I think he also said that half his wage is going to Ukraine as well to help the people even before the issue. I mean, okay, let's see. He now regrets the decision not to go to Arsenal. Why? Because Chelsea did. Because Chelsea set him up. What are you saying?
It's
No.
the owner's coach. The owner set him up.
Yeah, exactly. So
There's always going to
I'm
be
not
one.
sure what Mr. Towers is saying. No,
There's
don't say
always
that, please.
one.
Say that cautiously because yeah, you're sounding as if okay, Chelsea is the reason why he got himself into trouble. Okay. Prime suspension. Now I get it. I've been looking for that term. Wasn't able to recall. The big question is he still being paid by the club? We've talked about that. We've addressed that. Let's see. What else do we have here? Anything else?
Just to add to
It's
that,
an
sorry,
unfortunate situation.
I
I
heard what
like
Bobby
him.
said. Can I just add to that a little bit, Coach? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
He thinks Mudryk would probably be taking that because the way his lifestyle and bodybuilding and he likes that stuff. Yeah, I don't really agree with that. The only reason I don't agree with that because he would get tested a lot. Mudryk is the type of player that would get tested at international level, at club level. They go for those players because of that. They're the first ones most of the time. The
And
testing.
he knows that.
He knows that, correct. And he's said it before. He's tested. He gets tested all the time. So someone who gets tested all the
And
time.
also, so just quickly in football,
Yeah.
the tests are done at random. They just say, okay, today we want to test Chelsea. I've heard
Yes,
that before.
it's done at random, and they choose like a few players on each team to which ones they want. But there's always a little bit of bias. They always choose like the wingers that run a lot, the people that have run a lot more than the others. They look at GPS things. It's not really random, to be honest. It's random in a way, they say, but it's not quite fully random. The ones that stand out, that are the quickest, that are most athletic, the ones that look a bit, it's a bit too much. Mudryk he even said it in an interview, if I remember. He gets tested all the time. So when you're tested all the time,
Just like they test Kante a lot, they test
yes,
Ramirez a lot.
Kante
I
used to get
remember that.
Ramirez, Kante
Yeah.
get tested all the time because they just stand out like something's over the top. So those players always get tested a lot more, and that was the same with Mudryk as well. He said that in an interview. So when you get that tested that much, you're not going to take something willingly because you know it's going to come up straight away. That's just, you got to be really, really, really dumb to do that. So I kind of go the other way. I think he definitely took something that he didn't know. He's not the brightest of guys. I've seen a lot of interviews. He's not the brightest of kids. He's very young, and he probably made a decision that he trusted people around him, like someone said there in the chat. But I don't believe he took it willingly, no, because he gets tested so much, it'll be basically suicide.
I mean, you might want to join his team, his Lego team.
I'm part of it already, coach. Already.
Bobby, that laugh from Bobby. No, but I
No, I
think
mean,
probably,
I'm
I
not.
think it makes sense. That's a solid argument. Go ahead,
It
Bobby.
is a solid argument. I mean, I have no strong position on my suspicion. It was just a point of view that I had based on how much, bodybuilding and so on that he does. We're
You're
living
right,
in a
Bob. You're
very
right, because that's
strange
how the
world.
testers think as well.
Yeah, we're living in such a weird world and people do weird things. But, your position is very, um, I mean, it's very understandable. I
Very
mean,
sensible.
yeah. We shall
And
see. We shall see. Well, he has his appeal, and we'll see how that goes. The FA is not a particularly dogmatic body when it comes to people appealing this sort of situation. They tend to have leniency. The only person that I found that I've known that hasn't got away with it was Adrian Mutu, and that's simply because Adrian Mutu's was about snorting cocaine. So
we know.
yeah, so sorry.
No, Bobby,
Bobby,
guys said
you're getting
he
demonetized.
understood why I was saying we didn't just don't want to mention that. But go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
No
But
worries, no
yeah,
worries.
it was about that. So that is kind of a habitual situation as opposed to a
Accidental
professional.
if you want.
Yeah, a professional kind of thing. Now,
There's also cream.
is that honor amongst thieves?
No.
Maybe it is a bit of honor amongst thieves. Who knows?
Wow. Oh my gosh. And he tested positive to, yeah, whatever you said there. And thank you for explaining that. Ty, nice to see you up big. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you for finding the time to participate in the conversation, and you know what to do. Let's see. Before the issue, coach, I'm pretty sure he said half his wage. Okay. No, I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that. If I find myself in a situation, I'd be doing the same too, given whatever. Yeah. This helps him run for a lot more endurance. The same rumor that Pep's team also take the same thing in the last 15 years from Barcelona's time. Jose Mourinho exposed it and pointed out Pep's team. At the time, they weren't doing the test for it. Okay. I need Chelsea. I need to learn a lot. Send me a link. I like this sort of thing, so I'll learn more. Ty says he read a report that said he did a lie detector test. Yep, he did pass it. Not sure about the accuracy of those things. That's not a guarantee whether you beat a case or not, because people do learn how to beat it. Some people just fail it, even when they're not guilty of what you're asking them about. Um, But here's the thing.
It helps. It just helps a little bit. That's all.
It just helps a little bit. Yeah. I remember when I did a video on that, where a YouTube short video where I said I'm not sure how that helps, and Uncle Jester responded, if he has good lawyers, they'll put it to good use, but it just helps a little bit. It
Yeah, in the
doesn't.
court of
That's
law,
not.
they
Yeah,
accept
passing
that.
it doesn't mean you're not guilty.
Yeah, in a court of law, they accept that as a official avenue of you know, it helps a little bit, but yeah, it's not going to say no 100% he doesn't know, but it definitely
Mhm.
helps, and the lawyers will use that a lot. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if you're a prime suspect, he means a lot.
Yeah.
It adds to you could say the weight on you, But yeah, I don't know. But that's by the way. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on this thing. We have 23 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that because we've had a lot more people following the show. Why are we stuck on 23 likes? And the poll has 38 votes. So we're not even up to 30 likes. So I don't know why it doesn't measure. Yeah, 9 months, but his case, when did they close his case actually? Because I remember years later, he was still battling it out with Chelsea in the court of law.
Yeah, that
Okay,
took a long time.
yeah, it took a long time, yeah,
Yeah, that's
because
just what he
probably
said.
how much we were demanding at the time, he doesn't have it.
Of course, he didn't have that money. No,
Hmm.
no. So that took years and years and years to go. Yeah, that's just the sentence he got at the end. But that's because he already served pretty much. I think I can't remember how much it was. I think the full 4 years he got. I think he served 4 years not playing. So he did go back to Romania and then play in the Romanian league after his suspension was lifted. But he was out like four or
Oh,
5 years, if I remember right.
your brother. How could I not remember? Dante. How could I not remember? But he was a bad boy anyway before time.
He
That
was
sort of
he was
life.
a party boy. He was
Yeah.
supermodels, and especially in Romania, he's with the supermodels partying, and yeah, he was already had that reputation a little bit. Um, Surprised actually Chelsea when they did sign him. I was happy, but I was like a bit surprised that they did sign him because I knew his
Well, he
off-field stuff
was a
was
fine
very wild.
footballer, though.
Yeah, look, and back then you can get away with a lot of that stuff. A lot of those players did that back in those days. Like probably in the dressing room, we're gonna have 5 or 6 players that did that anyway for fun, and especially off season. Even now, they probably still do, but that's off season and doing it smartly. Because let's not be, a bit around the bush. Some players still do that these days, but they do it if they have the time and the off season because it doesn't stay in your system very long. So if they still do it sometimes for recreational to have a bit of fun or whatever to get the pressure
Hmm.
off them, and when they can do it they still do it a little bit every now and then. It hasn't
And for the
completely
kids
disappeared.
watching, it's not advisable.
No, it's not,
Mhm.
unfortunately, but it is a reality in professional sports that they still do that these days as well. They do it, but much more smartly and in a different way.
The long-term effect is also not good for your health. It could kill you.
Yeah, of course. Like with anything, coach, alcohol,
Hmm.
like anything that's legal, alcohol's legal, and if you drink it every day, well, you're not going to be very good, are you?
Yep, thank you. Yeah, I remember that one too. And Ty saying, of course, he won't prove he isn't guilty if the was found in his system. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see what else we have here. Lie detector test is classed as evidence, but not groundbreaking evidence. It won't help. It's not like DNA, fingerprint, and all that. No, it's not close. Yeah, not steroids. Not enough. Let's see what else we have here. A big up to you too, IB. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I don't think he will get full Mutu treatment, but he will 2 years tops. Probably not going to get. Yeah, overall, the whole thing probably will be up to 2 years. So I agree. The lie detector should be able to help reduce the length. If they argue that it was unknowingly, Mudryk would be banned because simply they cannot set the precedent that not knowing leads to nothing. Yeah, the rule actually clearly says you're responsible for whatever you ingest, whether knowingly or unknowingly. They don't care really.
Correct.
So
But
he
the
will
precedent's
face
already
some
been
measure
set
of
with the
ban.
Pogba case, and the same lawyers. They're gonna hammer that through 100%.
The
The
precedent,
same
right?
lawyers, and the precedent is already there.
Hmm.
And according to them, it's lower. It's not as high as Pogba. So there's precedents there already, recently as well. And the same lawyers will push that to the end of time. So I think he'll definitely get a 100% appeal, and he'll definitely get reduced. and it will probably be a little bit lower than Pogba's as well, because there's precedence there as well. That, of course, if he took it unknowingly.
Yeah, IB says that I think will void the contract. I think it depends on the length of his absence. If it is short, they might well the club may well weather it because Houston. What am I looking? The word that I'm looking for here. Um, I don't know how to phrase it. The more relatable way to phrase it, you could argue the club would want to be seen as caring. Yeah,
Well, they
I
have the
think it
duty.
would
They have a
take.
duty to the player to be caring.
Sorry.
Yes, they have a duty to the player to be caring.
Yeah, they have a
Especially,
duty to the player, and it's important that that you can say, "Oh, that's see that you did your best."
especially in Mudryk's case, where he's pleaded innocence and unknowingly taking stuff. Well, then, yeah, if it was knowingly, well, that's different. But unknowingly, well, they kind of have to back the player till something else comes up that it's certain that he took it knowingly. Till then, they have to, like we said earlier, they probably have the right to. They'll probably suspended his pay if they want. They have that choice. They probably might have not done so. It's just up to the club. But they not going to. They're not
It
going
comes down
to.
to what they know
They
with
will not
regards to
terminate
how
his
it
contract.
happened.
They can't terminate his contract because it hasn't been the case hasn't and if it's unknowingly, well, then they definitely can't really terminate his contract till the case is finished, basically, and then they can make a decision. But till then, they can't terminate his contract.
Yeah, Dante Chelsea Auntie has a question here, which reads, "Why make him undergo a lie detector test and not taking the outcome into consideration?" No, it does help to a certain measure, but it's not like passing it doesn't mean definitely he will escape a ban. No, it just helps. And I think he was sponsored by his former club, who you could argue because they they have a lot to lose. But I'll let Dante answer that question.
Yeah, they're add-ons. That they're going to lose a lot of those add-ons, and there's quite a lot of them. So we're talking like 20 million or whatever it is. So for a club like Shakhtar, that's a lot. So plus they have a personal relationship. The president does have a personal relationship with Mudryk as well. So let's put that out there as well. They're friends, family friends as well. So that also, they're looking after the player in a way. It's a bit of both, player and club, but because they're personal friends off the field, like the family is with the president. So yeah, then that also helps as well. But it's actually going to help quite a bit because there won't be much evidence in this case, coach. There's not that much evidence you can provide, to be honest. It's basically hearsay. He did it or he didn't. What evidence? When did he take it? Who gave it to him? By someone. There's not too much to go on. So something like this, it just helps. Actually helps, in my opinion, quite a lot because there's not much other evidence to say that he took it willingly and knowingly. It's very hard to come to that conclusion, to be honest. So when there's not much evidence, every little bit helps quite a lot.
All right, let's see what we have here. Thank you for that question there. Big up Chelsea Auntie. Okay. He will get banned because the precedent of not knowing that leading to no ban, yeah, he will create a lot of issues. Yeah. Many people could use that as a loophole. Yeah. Yeah, he will. And the rule clearly does state that, yeah, you're responsible for whatever you ingest, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Yeah. Forget that duty. We still owe the club along the line of 13 million. He's overpaid. His football IQ is poor, and the more he's out of football, the limitation of his growth. Sign Roger Fernandez instead. Just go home. Don't talk to me again. I don't like you anymore. Okay, let's talk about this one. I don't know Jacob Steinberg. I don't know him that well. I haven't paid attention, you can say, to the pattern of his reporting to say whether he's made a lot of correct calls in terms of reporting Chelsea's interest in players or not. But this particular report reads, discussion have continued between Chelsea and West Ham for Mohammed Kudus, but there has not been a formal bid. Chelsea have proposed including players in any. Okay, Chelsea have proposed including players in any transfer, but West Ham want a straight sell. Hmm. Um, I like this guy, and if we sign him, fine. I get it. His numbers, you can say, just concluded a season in not they aren't that great, but you can argue not down to him being a bad player. I'd like us to sign him. He can be physical. He's also a productive dribbler, can create, can score. I like him really. I know Bobby would like him too, but Dante, let's hear you. Before we go to Tabeho, and
Yeah,
Tabeho, I know he'll be going live soon. So
yeah, I'll go
just let
first
me know
because I
when
gotta go
once
in
you go
5
live so that
minutes.
I can redirect to your show. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dante.
yeah, I'll go first quickly because I gotta go anyway in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, look, Kudus is I think, yeah, he's perfect player that we need. He's can play on the left, can play on the right, can play through the middle, can play as a false nine. He's got the physicality, which I know Bobby likes. So he's very strong on the ball as well, even though he's not that tall, but he's a very strong player. He runs with the ball. He presses very well. He's a fighter, yeah. So he's a perfect addition to this team. He would be very welcomed, in my opinion. Like I said, a very versatile forward. That would be a perfect replacement for Nkunku. If we can move Nkunku on, well, this is your perfect replacement for Nkunku.
I
That
would
can
say
do it.
upgrade
It
to
is a
him.
massive upgrade, yeah, because he's done it already in
Yeah.
the Premier League, and he knows the Premier League well. And yeah, it'll be perfect for us. Hopefully, we can get a deal done with West Ham. Add some players in there. I know they need a keeper. They're after Sanchez and Petrovic, specifically Petrovic, and a couple of other players as well. Disasi, Shalaba. A couple. There's plenty of players we can offer them. Heaps of players, attacking players, defenders, midfielders. Take your pick, West Ham. So hopefully they can do something, get the deal done. Because yeah, this would be a very important addition for us if we can get him done. He's perfect for the system as well because of his versatility.
Yeah. It's
And
a
I'll
good
leave you
play.
guys with that. I'll be on Tobago's channel later. I'll be there in half an hour.
All right. Thank you, man.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
for being disciplined today.
I'm disciplined. Yes, yes. First morning show, blue morning show in 2 years. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. To very anything you want to add, I know you have to listen to go get ready for your show. If you're still there, then I'll go to Bobby. We'll go news hunting while I wait for you to get started, because we don't want to redirect
Yeah,
people when you haven't started. I think they'll just get to your channel and turn around.
yeah, I'm still here at the moment, but I'm going to be live maybe in the next 2 minutes. So in
Okay.
terms of the Misha situation, like you always say,
Okay, if you want to talk about Misha, and also we're at Kudus right now, but go ahead.
okay, I just wanted to run it off. In terms of Misha, hopefully his lawyers will help him out to 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 fix the situation, which
Hmm.
won't be easy. And in terms of Kudus, I would love him at Chelsea, but at the moment we have to offload some players. For example, we have to offload Nani Madueke because I don't think it makes sense to have four left-footed wingers at Chelsea. I know he can play as a 10, but we know Cole Palmer always being preferred as a number 10. So buy him only if maybe you sell Nani Madueke, but and someone else, then I'll be happy.
Are you sure the player? Because the report reads that the plan is to offer players plus cash. Are you sure Madueke isn't one of the players? Yeah, they were willing to offer.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
the moment I'm still not sure, but let's see.
Yeah, let's see indeed. All right, go get started. Just let me know once you start, so I know when to end this one. I don't want to end it and people get there and it be that you haven't started and they turn around. Uh, Bobby, you want to add to the Kudus conversation? I want it to happen, really. I don't care who leaves. Probably if anybody has to leave for Kudus to be accommodated, I don't think it'd be our best player. I think it'd probably be Nani Mudryk or Robert Sanchez, our goalkeeper, or some other player, but I don't think he'd be any of our best players. But go ahead. I didn't know this really. started saying that Kudus is also capable of playing as a striker as he did at Ajax. I didn't know that really, but here's the thing, I know he can play on the flanks and as a 10. I really like him. He's a productive dribbler, just like Sancho. I like Sancho because he's a productive dribbler. I take Kudus over Madueke anytime, any day. And but let's see what happens. Well, it looks like I don't know whether to trust Jacob Steinberg or not. As I've said, I haven't paid attention to the pattern of his reports to see what transfers he's called correctly and all that. All right, but Bobby, anything else you want to say before we call it a day?
Yeah, I was just going to pass comment on the Club World Cup.
Mhm.
The Al Hilal performance against Real Madrid. I thought they showed um,
Yeah,
that
Bobby.
they are an extremely strong team. You can see that this has the makings of a competition that's going to explode. These clubs from other continents are beginning to improve now, and this competition can only get better and better. I only hope that somehow Chelsea can manage to win this. I know it will be extremely difficult. The whole competition is difficult for anyone to win because there's some very, very good teams there. But it's the first one, the inaugural one, and I'm sure as time goes on, it will be something that everybody will be looking forward to a great deal. I don't know if you watched Al Hilal, Real Madrid. I thought it was a wonderful game.
Nearly beat Madrid.
It was 1-1.
Yeah, they nearly beat them.
Yeah, they should have
And
beaten them.
that's reflective of how good the Saudi League has become.
Yeah, absolutely. Saudi League is showing itself. The South Americans are showing themselves. Um, I haven't seen much of the African teams.
They are good.
Um,
Which the Tunisian side? Which one did I watch? The guys that played against My City, aren't they from Tunisia?
yeah. That is,
They
yeah,
were really good too.
yeah. The only side that has been, really below par is the team from New Zealand, and but their leagues in Oceanasia will learn from this and know that it's about investment and bringing in the right players. Look, this is going to be a big competition, and people that turn their noses up at it. You have these people that turn their nose up at it and try to undermine it and all that. I think they're making a very, very big mistake. You'll find that the European clubs will have their hands full dealing with these clubs now, not to mention in the future. It's an interesting watch. It really is. And someone I heard once was talking about the crowds, and you see, the part of global football is watching the different ways the fans from different continents support their team. I think it adds to the color and the glamour of the occasion. I've been for this competition from the onset, and it's just growing, getting better and better. And the thing about it is that now people are more into their clubs than their national teams. You'll be surprised to find this could well overtake the World Cup proper. Either that, or it'll give the World Cup proper a different type of spice, which is all good as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Let's see what else we have here. Casado can live for him. Yeah, you're just joking, right? Look at you laughing at yourself, actually. Aziz King says Misha is a cheat. Let's be honest. Most Eastern European countries do that a lot. Wow, that's new to me. Maybe I need to do my research. But
Well,
I
that
get your
is,
point. As it said, Mr. Isachi, to be honest, okay, he repeated that. Houston, you know them better than I do. Maybe I don't know them well enough to know that that's the case. It's hilarious. 2 weeks ago, Nani is man of the match for England. When Nani was hurt, we all felt his presence. was missing. Nani is not yet a finished product, but he's
Can
he's
I
the only winger
respond
who
to
is
that, Coach?
direct in attack. But here's the thing, in all honesty, we've never said he's a bad player, but you can say his deficiencies are quite clear just very clear for everyone to see.
Yeah,
No
when
sugarcoating it. He sometimes can be too selfish, and the bigger the occasion, he seemed to underperform. That's my opinion, but I get your point.
when
We
he
never
was
said he's a bad player, but he has a lot of issues. But go
when
ahead,
he
Bobby.
yeah, when he was absent, we missed him because we had nobody else.
Yeah,
And it was a
because
time that
we
we
didn't
had
have
no
other options.
strikers
Yeah.
either. So we were really, really desperate for forward players. Noni isn't a bad player, of course not. But we've gone up a level now. We can't keep accepting those things he does. And he seems to be stuck in those habits. If Noni has improved his game, like for example, Enzo's improved, Caicedo's improved, you name it. Even Neto, who's only been with us a season, had improved as the season went on. But Noni is still the same Noni that he was 2 seasons ago, and that's the problem we have. We can't go look at the level of performance at the Club World Cup. We can't have him do this. We meet some of these teams. In fact, Flamingo, the way I'm seeing it now, the way these South Americans are playing, they're going to be a tough team. And he has to have his onions together. He can't just be doing all this misplacing balls, not passing, not scoring, all these clumsy things. It'll affect the team and it'll punish us. You take your chances at this level. So for me, I've seen enough. Can't hear you, coach. I can't hear you at all.
Sorry, Bobby. I was saying that I'm pushing to round off as soon as I can because I have my daughter now, and also to redirect people to Tabeho's YouTube channel because he started, and the plan is to redirect people to his channel. Also, African, we will miss both Kudus and Nicholas Jackson. Yep, that's the truth. If we sign Kudus, and it's looking like we're seriously interested in signing him. Let's be honest, Misha did it. Guilty? I don't know. That's not honesty. You are speculating. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. You cannot say, let's be honest, Misha did it. No, that's not being honest. That's you still speculating. That's not being objective, really. My opinion. Okay, I've heard that. Let's see what else we have here. Hi, coach. Pep, Barcelona players were suspected of doping on whatever you call it. There was easy to bypass. Okay, I need to do a lot of research. But with that, I want to say thank you to all of you for finding with the time to be part of the conversation. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you to Dante who was here. Thank you to our senior panelist Bobby, and thank you to Ty. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I love being a father. Honestly, not easy. Sometimes they frustrate the life out of you. But thank you to Chelsea. Thank you to the coolest Charles. Thank you to Aziz. Thank you for the donation. I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate that. That goes a long way for the community. IB, thank you. All of you, and if I miss your name, and staff, of course, if I miss your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. No knock. With every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We long for the team, stand strong by our side.
Every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, prioritize, and then when the love is torn, every form says to fair, every was a strife. You, my heart, keep the blue fading signs like we soar through every challenge. We will never ignore. In unity we trust. Our hopes on the rise. Chelsea's spirit shines. Bright lights up the sky.